Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In the last 2 weeks, I have acquired 2 games that were sold to me as authentic, but were actually fakes. So this can be a very frustrating thing as a collector. Nobody wants fakes. Everyone wants everything authentic in their collection. So I thought I would make this quick video to show you how you can use some basic strategies to determine what is authentic and what is fake for a Super Nintendo game, as well as for a Game Boy Advance game. The first game we'll talk about is Pocky and Rocky for the Super Nintendo. This is a wonderful shooter developed by Natsume. It's a great game and was unique at the time because you could move multi-directionally as opposed to vertical or horizontal in most shooters. This is an absolute needed game for any SNES collector's collection. This game is currently selling for anywhere between $150 to $200 loose and up to $400 complete. I got this game from GameStop because the price was great with current promotions going on at the time. Even though I suspected of receiving a fake game, I still went ahead and tried my luck. Once the game came in, I did a quick visual inspection. 2 things that caught my eye initially. The first was that the back shell showed much more wear and discoloration than the front shell. In fact, the front shell was actually very new looking, which was rather suspicious. Secondly, I saw an area where the label was kind of peeling upward from the edge as it looked like it wasn't seated properly on the shell. Before scrutinizing the cartridge any further or opening it up, I first tested the game on my Super Nintendo console. Lo and behold, what actually played wasn't Pocky and Rocky at all. It was in fact Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball. Sometimes reproduction games have reproduction circuit boards inside them that when played on a Super Nintendo console, it actually plays similarly or even the same as a genuine copy. But even if the correct game plays, it's still absolutely necessary to still open up the game and inspect further. Opening SNES cartridges only requires a 3.8mm game bit screwdriver to remove the 2 front screws. This is a cheap to buy and a must-have if you decide to collect anything Nintendo, as it allows you to open up a lot of Nintendo products. Once the 2 screws are removed, you can then separate the front and back shells and expose the game's internal circuit board. With the circuit board, the next step is to compare the board to an authentic one. For SNES games, I recommend using SNEScentral.com. This is a great website with a huge database of authentic Super Nintendo scans. You can find scans of original boxes, manuals, cartridge labels, and of course, PCBs, printable circuit boards. Navigate the website to find the correct game. Make sure to select the correct region. In this case, it would be the North American region. Find the image link to the PCB and then start comparing. Some SNES games have multiple circuit board revisions. If this is the case, make sure to compare each so that you don't mistake a genuine copy for a fake one. As you can see here, the PCB doesn't match up at all. The second game now is a copy of Mega Man Battle Network 4 Red Sun. I have been on an absolute Mega Man kick this last month, feverishly trying to get all the games in each series. The Battle Network games debuted on the Game Boy Advance and contain RPG and tactical fighting elements to it. The first and second games in the series were standalone games, but the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth generation of games each had 2 versions, sort of like how Pokemon had 2 versions in the earlier series. Mega Man Battle Network 4 had Red Sun and Blue Moon. On average, this game was going for about $15 loose. I actually bought this game off eBay along with 3 other Mega Man Network games that I did not have and scored a pretty good deal, I think. When the games arrived and I laid them all out on a table, I quickly noticed that the cartridge for Mega Man Network 4 was slightly darker than the other 3 games. The front label also had indications that looked like air bubbles underneath the label, as if it wasn't attached properly to the cartridge. Funny enough, when I turned the game over and looked at the backside, there were remains of an old GameStop pre-owned price sticker, meaning that GameStop accepted this game at trade-in unknowing that it was a fake and then later resold it to someone who thought they were getting a genuine copy. Oh GameStop, you're just too much. Like with Pocky and Rocky, I decided to first test the game before taking it apart. I couldn't even get the game to boot after multiple attempts of blowing on it and retrying. I was very curious as to how it would play, but never could get it to boot. Opening up a Game Boy Advance cartridge is very easy and straightforward. All that is needed is a tri-wing screwdriver to remove the small screw on the backside. Interestingly enough, when I removed some of the old sticker to expose the screw, it was in fact a normal Phillips screw, leaving me to doubt further that this game was genuine. Once the back screw is removed, you can then slide the front shell downwards and then separate it. Now, I don't know of a good database for scans like in the case for Super Nintendo games, so it requires a bit more methodical inspecting. This is a picture of a common circuit configuration on a lot of GBA games, but not all of them. The first thing I like to do is compare it to this. If it looks like this and the game plays correctly, you pretty much have a genuine copy. Also, if you check the contact pins, there should be small holes in each. These holes should be lined up in a nice straight line. If they are all over the place, as is the case for this game, then it is most likely a fake. If the game board looks different but the contact holes are aligned properly, you'll then need to hunt for a picture online of the game's board. You can do a Google search, but I recommend searching for listings on eBay with pictures provided by the seller of the actual circuit board. One common element on a lot of reproduction games is that they utilize a small watch battery for saving purposes instead of using dynamic memory. However, some authentic games do still use small batteries for timekeeping purposes inside the game. One example are the early Game Boy Advance Pokemon games, and I believe there's a Metroid game too, but don't quote me on that. All right, thank you guys for watching. That pretty much wraps up on some basic strategies on how to determine if a Super Nintendo or a Game Boy Advance game is a fake or genuine copy. I strongly urge and recommend that no matter how cheap or how expensive of a cartridge you buy, you should always inspect it fully to make sure that it is authentic. So please do that because it can save you a lot of time, frustration, and money. That is it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.